Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Menken. We start with college football. Late in the fourth quarter, number 6 Oregon rolling against Oregon State. Right now, the Ducks on top 41-7 as they get set to close that one out. On the ABC right now in the third quarter of the SEC, number 11 Oklahoma and Auburn are tied at 10 apiece. Number 7 Florida State at halftime leading Kent State 45-7. That game had a weather delay. Also right now in the third, number 21 Michigan leading Nebraska 27-17 as the Wolverines look to go 3-1 on the season. Earlier on College Game Day, ESPN's Desmond Howard said Bryce Howard getting a chance to do more this year with Michigan.
Yeah, I think with their young quarterback, Bryce Underwood, they were kind of conservative on the road in Norman against Oklahoma, but now it seems like they're like, hey, go be you, play your top type of football. He's running the ball more.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This is your home for Alabama football.
Looking for Williams. Comes back, makes the catch. Trying to split defenders. Makes them bang into each other. Stays on his feet. Breaks a tackle. Scores. 4 + 2 = 6.
This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to another week of Sports Talk here on the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk are here with you. Joined by the phone lines, 256-576-9077. If you guys want to get in on the show, you can do that, whether on the phone lines or on WZZN TV, on YouTube, Facebook, X. You know the deal. And you can also be listening online, whether on our app for free. We love free. On the App Store, whether it's Apple or Android. Or you can hop over to our website, 977ESPN.com. And you can click the Listen Live over there as well, where you can also listen to a litany of football games on the Friday nights. And last Friday, let me tell you, Joe, I know you didn't get to join me.
I didn't know.
But I had a fun call from Harvest as Sparkman was able to beat the Crimson Panthers on the heels.
I had a fun call afterwards when you called and left me a voicemail.
No, you had a long night as well, Joe.
Oh yeah, I did not leave UAH on Friday night until almost midnight.
Jeez.
For a second, I thought I was going to be able to roll over to Sparkman and be able to help you with this because we had somebody get COVID. Didn't know you could do that in 2025, but it's
a little old fashioned, dude.
Yeah,
come on,
please. Now. What's next? The Black Plague.
He's
please.
He's just listening to this. Like, yeah. No, I'm serious.
No, dude. Right now, I'm still throwing up. Like, come on, I can't walk. I'm dizzy. Like, come on, please. I have a pounding headache. No. I was called in to do the 2 soccer matches that UAH were having against Lee on Friday night, so I wasn't able to be there for the Sparkman game, and so. Our match for the women didn't start until 6. It was supposed to start at 5, but we had a weather delay, and I'm sitting and looking at my watch going, I may be able to make this. Like, I may be able to just go over and at least do the pregame with John, like do something, because Sparkman's only about 10 minutes away from UAH. So, I mean, like, it's a quick trip right up Jordan Lane. Like, I'm good to go. And so I'm thinking about it. John calls me after his game is over with, and I just text him, still going. And he's like, what? I still had 30 minutes left of the match that we were playing as you were leaving Sparkman.
Man, I was out of there. I was about to enjoy my weekend, bro. I had a wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful showing
Yes.
of football.
I was sitting in Spraggins Hall doing a recap at almost midnight on Friday night as you were celebrating this amazing game, and I'm sitting watching it, having FOMO because I had it pulled up the live feed as I'm doing the match, and I'm looking, going, "All right, Sparkman. All right, Sparkman. You got yourself a lead. Okay, don't look. Why are you blowing this? Why are you blowing this, Sparkman?" Then I look back down, and I'm like, "Oh, never mind. Sparkman gonna win this."
Yeah, and a lot of it came from the help of the offensive line in that run game. 356 yards rushing, not just rushing, but from one man, and that was Braylon Lawson. So he was an absolute, I mean, can you just put down my dog of the week already? I mean, I got to see this in person. This is actually the most yards by a running back in a Sparkman football game. All right, so I just wanted to throw that in there by one player ever. So this is history that we're talking about. Joe, I even brought you up a few times. I was like, Joe wishes he was here.
Yeah.
19.8 yards per carry on 18 carries. I mean, this kid was absolutely amazing, but you cannot go without saying that offensive line helped him out dramatically, because there were some times where he didn't even get touched through the line, and then he was already through the secondary before the linebackers even knew it. But there were some impressive runs where I literally thought this kid was down, and then he comes out of this pile running backwards with a Crimson Panther on him. He throws it to the ground, turns around, goes all the way to the end zone.
So it was so funny because when I had my phone pulled up, I had it sitting up on a ledge so that I could watch it. And every time I would look down, I thought that Sparkman had lost power. And I'm going, where are the lights? And then they start flickering back on. I'm like, what? Because I'm having to watch the game on mute as I'm doing the soccer match. Yeah. I'm looking down and I'm going, oh no, they scored. That's what it was. It's a light show that's going on. Yeah. That's why the lights were off. Because every time I would look down, it would be pitch black for a second. I'm going, did the power go out? Maybe if the power goes out and I can finish my game, I can get over there and I can finish it with John. Like, that's what I'm thinking. And the whole time it's, oh, the power's out. Wait, was it? Oh, wait, no, they scored. They scored. That's why it's the power. It's the light show.
The one time you probably looked down at the screen and you saw it was just pitch black for a moment was whenever they go into the fourth quarter. Everything gets really serious.
That was another time.
They turn off the light for like probably 30 seconds, and then I was even confused. I was like, what's going on here? It's like, that was a bad third quarter. Why are we getting hyped up for this fourth quarter? I just hope that we turn things around. And it did just that. I mean, it got the energy back in the crowd, got the team back rolling with that run game, and it was impressive all the way through. We even got to see a great catch from Zayden Bodner off of a wonderful pass.
That was a
from
great
Josh
pass.
Naylor.
I did see that.
Glad you did.
That's when the lights started going out
There
right
you
after
go.
that. I did see that because that was a great pass in the corner of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was nice.
Definitely a big win for Coach Ronnie Watson, Sparkman Senators, as they are now 2-1.
2 and 3. 2-1. Sorry,
within the region, and 2-3 overall as they win this one, 36-28. And I felt like it was all the same for the rest of the teams you could listen on our airway. Everybody was having some success, and it was a really good week. But you can look forward to this week as well, as the game of the week is back, and it will be Grissom versus Albertville. We'll talk more about that later, maybe. Arab versus Madison Academy. We got Randolph versus Pisgah. We also got Sparkman versus Jemison, which they are over the hump of that really tough 3-game slate. So now it's to the point where Sparkman is in must or should win games. So this is where it comes down to the team staying grounded, making sure they're able to finish off these next few opponents. But Westminster Christian Academy going to be facing off against Hatton. So a full slate for you this weekend over on the app as well as the website. But make sure you guys know that this show, as always, is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Apparently, it's supposed to get a little bit more wet this week, Joe.
Yes.
So
because today is the last day of summer.
There you go. Oh, is it really?
It's the last day of summer, baby.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
Well, make sure you guys know that Fleming Roofing and Restoration's got your back, as well as your roof. Just check them out over at FlemingHSV.com. Fill out that free quote today, and remember that Fleming always shows up. Joe,
sup?
We had an intriguing week in college football. It wasn't supposed to be too interesting, but it actually turned out to be very storyline driven. Whether we're looking at the teams that we thought would be winning, losing, Or we look at a team like Florida, who is slowly but surely falling apart, and their
So
offense
slow.
just does not look like they could do anything. I feel like DJ Lagway is a little bit overwhelmed on that offense. But, I mean, we could also look at the upsets that we had when it comes to Memphis beating Arkansas. But I think the most intriguing game that a lot of people around our area were really focused on was that Auburn-Oklahoma matchup.
Yeah, no, it was. And for that, I truly believe that the only reason Game Day chose to go to Miami for Miami, Florida, was just so McAfee could jump off the high dive. I think they literally did the entire broadcast and came up with the destination just solely based on that.
You think if you're going off the high dive, you try and at least dive, try and do something off the high dive.
There's a whole thing it was, first off, props for him because he even got into a Speedo. I think that it was when you get that high, it's kind of like jumping off the cliffs. Like, I don't know if you ever went over to like Lake Gunnersville or anything like that and jumped off the cliffs.
I didn't jump off those ones, but I jumped off some cliffs in my day.
So what do they always tell you? Keep your feet straight together. Make sure you go down. Don't look down. All that stuff. I think that's what it was, is he didn't want to try to do something dumb and then actually hurt himself.
I can understand that.
I would have totally wanted to do a cannonball, or I would have totally wanted to do like some flips or something.
For somebody like me who loves to jump off of a 12-foot diving board, all right, and do a lot of different tricks and all of that stuff, whenever I get on a platform that is even higher than 12 feet, that's whenever those instincts kind of just go out the window, and then it's just survival instincts.
Well,
and it's just water you're landing in.
It is, but it's also very hard whenever you first hit it. So that's the reason why. Now, that's what saying that.
I wasn't jumping from 75 feet.
He was from what, like 20 feet up? It may have been.
Yeah, probably.
It's basically like if we were to get up on our roof right now and jump onto the concrete.
Our Fleming roof.
Absolutely, it does. And so that's what I'm saying. Is like, hey, now hold on. But the Auburn-Oklahoma game was one that it was interesting for numerous reasons. It also had a lot of controversy for numerous reasons.
Yes, it did.
And then you also have that the way that this game ended up finishing, which was the way that a lot of people thought it should finish to begin with. And so there was a lot to talk about from it. Good, bad, everything. And I will say before we even get deep into it.
Oh, no, he's going to say something good.
I am good. Well, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be bad.
Something positive about Auburn.
Jackson Arnold got sacked 10 times.
Yeah, he did.
Not all of those were his fault. Now, look, there's a lot that were, okay? But I'm just saying.
Man's got to let go of the ball, all right, Joe?
I also, this is the reason why I really wish that ESPN did what the NFL does and releases the All 22 so that you could choose to watch it. Because I want to say that a lot of those passes that he should have been making and got sacked for was because of how deep Auburn was trying to run with every single wide receiver.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like in the first half, their only play was, hey, everybody go deep. Like, that was it. That was like the entire playbook. And I think that they went to the well so many times that Jackson Arnold had to sit there and wait and continue to wait because he was waiting for his guys to try to get some sort of separation. And that caused the pocket to collapse and for him to get sacked. That's what I'm saying. Not all of those were on him. There were a lot of things that was on him. That was not one of them. Let me just emphasize that because, yes, getting sacked 10 times is embarrassing, but there's also a reason why they got sacked. He got sacked 7 times in the first half and only 3 times in the second.
Yeah.
It's because Auburn finally started to run shorter routes in the second half, and that's why he was able to get the ball out quicker. Now, continue. Just wanted to make sure I got that out there before we go anywhere else. Because,
you're all good.
Because I was, and I have been, and I will continue to be very hard on Jackson Arnold. And so I wanted to make sure that I at least put that out there before we talk about anything else having to do with the game.
And I think that this is a little bit more of what we can expect from a John Mateer quarterback coming in from Washington State, and now he's playing up against actual SEC opponents. He plays a lot more safe. He also didn't have nearly as many rushing yards as he's had in the weeks prior. Jackson Arnold also had negative 11 yards rushing just because of those sacks, but he actually was more productive in the running game. But it was a good game all the way to the end, and I got to experience it in a different way, okay? And this isn't a sponsor. This isn't something I'm trying to promote, but I went over to Field Day, Joe, and I was watching this game on their big screen TVs outside. I had a few drinks, had a maple wood glazed burger, which was absolutely ridiculous, reminiscent of like a donut burger. But I enjoyed it in a totally different way here at Huntsville, and I thought that was a very fun experience with all of the Auburn fans. Got to talk with them, as well as I was wearing a Alabama hat, one of the few Alabama fans actually on location, because of course Alabama was off.
Yes.
But we still have the itch to watch football, and I bumped into one of your close friends, Joe. It was the New Hope football coach.
Oh, no, I was sitting here thinking, I was like, wait a second, hold up. I don't have that many friends. I was sitting here thinking to myself, wait, who is he talking about?
I bumped into him. I
know a lot of people, but I don't have that list that I actually put in the friends category.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, but I literally was just sitting down, and I was like just chilling out, and I saw this face, and I was like, he's got a very familiar face.
Like, you're looking like,
I was like,
I should know you.
Is that Coach Harper?
Yeah.
I think that's Coach Harper.
I should know.
But
I should know you.
I walk up to him, and I was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, you look familiar. And he was like, I get that every once in a while. I was like, yeah, no, I'm John. I do the show with Joe. And he was like, oh yeah, Joe Hunk. Yeah. He was like, oh yeah. He knows Joe Hunk because of all of the love that you throw towards your alma mater. But
absolutely,
it was good to see that he was posted up chilling, watching some football with us.
Well, and I think that with that game, you had a lot of people that, look, you know how bad a call has to be for the SEC to actually make a statement on it. Now, Scott Tyson did just text me and say that they changed the stat book after the game and they went back. Is actually it ended up being only 9 sacks instead of 10.
Okay.
So wanted to add that to make sure that that's in. Still school record, but still only 9.
Well, it ties the school record.
No, school record was 8.
For Oklahoma?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was 9.
Yeah, school record was 8 because they talked about it. They're like, school record for Oklahoma is 8. They've already got 7, and it's still in the first half. Like, it was that conversation. But It was the play in which, obviously, which one do you think was a bigger deal? Let me ask.
9 sacks.
9 sacks, yeah. Which one was the bigger deal? Was it the fumble that wasn't a fumble, or was it the trick play that, that they shouldn't have acted like he was going off the field and they ended up turning it into a touchdown? Was it the non-pass interference call on the trick play?
Didn't they ended up scoring on that drive with the non-call, right?
On the trick play? Yeah, they ended up scoring because what happened is the very next play was 4th and 11, and then Jackson Arnold rushed for like 15 yards after that.
Then I would definitely be going with the fumble. That should not have been a fumble.
See, they said it was not a fumble. You're saying it should have been a fumble.
Yeah, other way around.
See, and I looked at it and went, okay, I can see why they would say it's not a fumble, because you could see his hands still trying to get a hold of the football and get it into his possession when he was eventually going to lose it. So I see that. I just think that this referee crew did have a lot of bad of things happen in it for them, like the non-pass interference call. Like, when you go back and watch, the referee was doing all that he could to try to get into position because Cam Coleman's jumping up right in front of him and the ball's coming down to where he is.
Man was like old Batman. He could not, like the ref. I'm talking about the ref. He could not look up.
He was trying. And in his defense, when he finally got his head around, the football was already touching Cam Coleman, so he didn't see the contact beforehand. So, yes, he was, I don't even think that I would say he was out of position. Because, I mean, how much deeper can you get when you're standing on like the 3-yard line?
He was right next to him. He just was not looking in the right direction.
Yeah, and even if he would have went to the right instead of the left so that he could keep an eye on that, he still wouldn't have been able to see the contact compared to where the football was and all that. So I'm really just kind of confused on, what was the bigger upset with this? Because, again, in my mind, I think that these were 2 really good teams that came out with 2 really good game plans for obvious reasons. I do think that Jackson Arnold helped the defense a lot this week in coming up with a game plan. And as far as calls are concerned, plays, everything along those lines, obviously not John Mateer stuff because Mateer wasn't there when Arnold was there. And I also think that obviously Oklahoma had a great game plan against Jackson Arnold and making sure that he couldn't get outside the tackles, wanting to flushing him up the middle, and also being able to get the pressure. Like, look, it wasn't just that. It was also all the false starts. Like, you were getting a ton of issues from Auburn's offensive line, where if there was a part in this game that you would say Auburn struggled with, their offensive line was obviously the one that struggled the most.
And it was interesting to see it come to an end and Oklahoma be out on top, but it wasn't the most intriguing win of the weekend as we saw Indiana absolutely pressure wash Illinois in that game. I don't know where this is where the preseason poll gets thrown out instantly. All right. When you see a number 9 team lose to anybody like that, that's when it's thrown out. But we also forget that a TCU team just a few years ago was able to make it to the national championship before a similar thing happened to them.
I was so confused because Saturday night we had the UAH Hall of Fame ceremony. Scott Tyson was hosting it. He walked by me at one point in time. Oklahoma, Auburn's up 17-16. I'm like, dang it. Shut up, Scott. I don't need this right now.
Don't tell me.
I've talked a lot of crap about this game, about Auburn, okay? Don't tell me this.
I was rooting for Auburn. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to prove you wrong, Joe.
I know, and I think and that's why I wanted to compliment Jackson Arnold in this, because in reality, there were a lot of times that either one of those teams could have actually taken over that game, and nobody ever did. But I was watching, and I knew what my upset pick was. And when I got home, I was going, all right, I need to see what this score was. So I'm watching MTSU for some dumb reason. I guess it was because it was the only thing on at 11:30
It did get delayed, all right? The game didn't – well, it was in the first quarter, and then it got delayed till like 8 o'clock to start again. But no, that game, oh my gosh, all the close shots because all the fans were already gone doing something else. It was so bad.
And so I'm watching it, and I was looking down at the scroll, and I'm like, okay, let me see what Illinois-Indiana did. And I saw the Indiana in gold, and I went, oh, okay, all right, they won. And I looked at the score and went, oh, what in heaven's name was happening there? At least Michigan and Nebraska was like a field goal game. Like that one at least lived up to what the spread was.
Turns out Vegas kind of knew what was going on here. Indiana, of course, was the what were they ranked? 20-something coming into this game, going
like
against the 9.
They may have been like 22nd or 23rd. Like it was,
And they ended up absolutely decimating Illinois. I'm surprised that Illinois is still in the top 25 in some people's rankings. I just wanted to throw that out there. But 63-10. And Joe, this yet again proves the thing that I've been saying in my head or saying at home while I'm watching these games. This isn't something that happens in the SEC. You do not see teams, SEC teams, play against SEC teams and absolutely destroy them. But in the Big Ten, this can happen. In the Big 12, this can happen. In the ACC, this can happen. It does not happen in the SEC. That's why it just means more. And people still want to fight us about that. I just don't understand why.
Well, and I then look and I see that, USC and Illinois are playing each other this weekend. That's another ranked versus ranked matchup, even though they're both in the 20s. And right now, Illinois is a 6.5-point dog in that one too. And I'm going, no, sir, you're not going to fool me twice.
Not going to bait
because there has been a lot of talk about how this Illinois team has, and they still have, and obviously a shot at being in the college football playoff, but they've got to show more than what they did there. But I will tell you one team that did impress me.
If you lose by 53, there is no shot you should make it to the postseason.
So I'm going to say we'll take your phone calls when we come back at 256-576-4977. But there was one game that really impressed me. And I'm curious about when are we going to start giving Missouri some love?
Ooh.
When are we going to start? Because Lenora Sellers played every bit of that game, threw for over 300 yards, had a pair of touchdowns, and Missouri still beat South Carolina, which we thought, hey, without a healthy Lenora Sellers, that's, okay. But if Lenora Sellers is healthy, we think South Carolina is going to win. When are we going to start giving Missouri credit because they are 4-0, undefeated, and they are looking like an Eli Drinkowitz team that we always see but never even don't even think about.
But now it's got a run game. That's the one thing it's been missing.
So
we're talking about that on the other side.
As well as wanting to know what you thought about Auburn and Oklahoma as that's going in. We know it's Alabama and Georgia week now. We'll eventually swap our focus over to that matchup. But What did you think about the Auburn-Oklahoma game, the way that Auburn played? Ike Jones is going to be joining us coming up at 10:20 today to break that down as well, as now Auburn has to go on the road yet again to take on Texas A&M. They start this week as a 6.5-point dog.
Wow.
To A&M.
Just continues. It's going to be a lot of intrigue, and it's going to be a lot of reaction on today's edition of The Blitz. We'd love to hear from you as well. Whether you're listening here in Huntsville or if you're out there in Athens, Decatur, or if you're up in Winchester listening, waiting for some Tennessee talk, we have got it here on the show.
Destroy Trent Dilfer.
It is The Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
Makes a catch, makes them bang into each other, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, scores!
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide start SEC play against the Georgia Bulldogs. Our coverage begins at 3:30 on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy was built on treating athletes, and today we treat so much more. Whether you're a high school competitor, weekend warrior, or recovering from surgery, Johnson & Hayes pairs you with a dedicated therapist for one-on-one consistent care. We offer specialized programs in sports rehab, neurological therapy, pelvic health, post-concussion care, and more. Founded by lifelong athletes, trusted by top physicians across Alabama, Johnson & Hayes delivers results. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and get back to what you love. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms will be possible for this Monday across the Tennessee Valley, mainly areas north of the Tennessee River. High temperatures warm into the upper 80s for the afternoon. Lingering rainfall continues into Monday night. We'll see temperatures fall into the upper 60s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to the Alabama Football Recap Show every Sunday at 11. Smoked by Dreamland Barbecue. Ain't nothing like 'em nowhere. On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm all in my bag, as hard as it get. I do not store powder. I might take a sip. I might hit the blunt, but I'm liable to.
Seems like Mizzou's got it in the bag, at least on the ground, as Ahmad Hardy continues his strong performance on the ground with 600 yards rushing now. The closest to him, Jeremiah Cobb, sitting at 375 yards. And again, Hardy has gotten a majority of these carries, 79 compared to Cobb's 52. But it just shows you how much the running game can play a role when it comes down to these close, hard-hitting football games. Is we saw like a lot of yards, all right, a lot of passing yards from this South Carolina team, and that's great, all right. Wide receivers are looking wonderful. It's great. Lenore Sellers not looking, stressed out like another sophomore that we know. He's playing solid football, 302 yards passing for the South Carolina Gamecocks, but on the opposite side, 285 yards rushing for Mizzou is going to take the toll as, of course, the Tigers get that win at 29-20 against South Carolina, moving to 4-0 as the Gamecocks fall to 2-2. Joe, first things first, who out there thought that this South Carolina team was being a little overhyped going into the season? Because I would kind of say I was on the fence with them still. I didn't believe in them as much as I believe in maybe a Vanderbilt going into this year, and maybe that's just because of all the talk that we've gotten from Diego Pavia. And on top of that, Clark Lee's been very nice as well. But when it comes to the Gamecocks, we still haven't really seen a proven performance from them, at least this year.
Well, I think that a lot of people were higher on South Carolina because of how last season wrapped up and how well they were playing at the end of the year. And people were saying, like, they should have been in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Even
they were close.
They were close. But also, if you go back and you rewatch the Saturdays in October or whatever we're calling it, whatever that show is on Netflix, I'm not going to get it right because it just left you empty at the end.
Given Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. Any given Saturday. You could even look at it even more and just go, all right, well, again, what is the committee looking at? Because their third loss, or one of the losses that is being held against them, was one in which Sellers was injured. So now you go into 2025 and you're thinking, well, if Sellers is healthy, and I mean, this could still be the same team that they were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And last year, I should say. So yeah, the belief was about Lenore Sellers more than anything. I don't think that there was a SEC quarterback hype chart that didn't have him at either 1 or 2.
You're not wrong.
Throughout this.
It's the size, it's the metrics, all of that stuff. It leads to a perfect quarterback for this new season.
I don't think, and what's surprising is I don't think that we ever had the conversation of the two teams that you just mentioned, South Carolina and Vandy. Which one do you believe in more between those two teams? Like, obviously, write that down. We'll think about that in the offseason next year. Because right now, Vanderbilt is looking every bit of what people thought they were.
Oh, yeah. They proved Georgia State that at least.
Yeah, and now you have South Carolina with 2 losses in conference, which, again, still doesn't eliminate you from the college football playoff, but you've got to win out.
You got to win.
Like, you can't lose another one. So you have to win out now. And again, we haven't even swapped over to October yet. So I think that is why we were kind of thinking that this South Carolina team was going to be better than what they have played so far. And yes, Sellers has been hurt. We expected them to beat Virginia Tech. Obviously, the South Carolina and Vanderbilt matchup, again, another opportunity that we missed in figuring out which team do you believe in more. I think that if they would have beaten Vanderbilt in that game, even without the injury, then we would have been looking at this South Carolina-Missouri game a little bit different than what we were because of the loss to Vanderbilt. And because once Sellers went down, you really saw how much and how Vanderbilt did something that I don't think anybody has truly ever seen a Vanderbilt team do, and that's go in on the road and be able to actually take control of a football game against an SEC opponent. Like, a lot of times it was we lived to see another day on that one. It's like, oh, we barely scraped away. No, there was no scraping away. They dominated this. They did everything except take Cocky to the middle of the field and have barbecue wings. That's it.
And I mean, this is the difference.
They dominated them.
You see a team, and this is in a totally different conversation that I really want to get to, but it's the Clemson team. They were facing off against the Syracuse squad that, a lot of people thought were going to be pretty good coming in, and then Tennessee kind of dulled that hype. All right, it was a big old win, very assertive, but it was out. It was in a neutral site, and they were able to take care of the game. But Syracuse being able to win the game against Clemson, and this comes without their quarterback. Their quarterback gets injured, and they're still able to score touchdowns. They're still able to play defense. They're still able to look like a squad that has hope. South Carolina, whenever Sellers goes out, that's when all the hope kind of left. And then they realized that they need this guy to stand a chance against anybody moving forward. And I think that's where the confidence kind of hit them in the gut. And I think that played a huge role in this one as well, Joe. I think that maybe Lenore Sellers wasn't 100%. He wasn't as elusive. And also the rest of the team was realizing if he gets hit wrong again, our season's completely over. And, I mean, it led to those 5 sacks that lost 45 yards for South Carolina. Their offensive line wasn't playing good at all.
No, and I think that is the reason why when we're looking at a lot of these things, we say it was all about the confidence. And I don't think that Oklahoma came into that matchup with Auburn and they were looking the same that they had the previous 2 games and 3 games, because I think, again, the game plan that Auburn had, inside information, everything was played a little bit differently. Yeah. I honestly am going to be surprised if after Saturday, if we go back and if the teams heading forward against Oklahoma use anything that Auburn did to try to slow Mateer down. I'm going to be interested with that. Yeah. But I don't think the same can be said about Missouri and what they did with Sellers, because Sellers wasn't 100%. I think that is part of it. So that is part of what's happening. Also, just a few moments ago, Chris Lowe, now of On3, by the way, he has left ESPN for people that do not know this, has broke the story that the annual SEC college football opponents for the next 4 years has been released.
Oh.
So now this is going into the new scheduling, 9-game schedule. You get three opponents every single year that are the same. The rest is going to be rotating. So for a lot of these, some of these make sense. The curious ones for me, obviously, are going to be Alabama and Auburn. Now, if you're Auburn, I think that you want to kind of have this discussion as far as you're okay possibly with how this is going to work out for you. Mm-hmm. But for Alabama, can you guess the 3 common opponents that they are going to have over the next 4 years?
I'm going to say Tennessee, Georgia, and Auburn.
2 for 3.
If you get rid of Georgia, you throw in LSU.
Still 2 for 3.
Wow. Okay.
It is Tennessee, Auburn, Mississippi State.
I guess you got to have an easier opponent when it comes to that 3-game slate.
Okay. For Auburn, who would you pick as their 3 opponents?
Oh, I would love to see Georgia.
Okay, that one's in. 1 for 1.
Alabama, of course.
2 for 2.
So you're going to throw me through a loop here because it might be 3 really tough opponents. I'm just going to throw in Florida and see where you go with that one.
That is incorrect. 2 for 3 on this. Because for me, I would say if I'm thinking 3 common opponents that Auburn's going to have over the next 4 years, they're the ones that I would suspect for Auburn would be Alabama, Georgia, LSU. Like those are the 3.
Yeah.
Like those are the 2 of those obviously are your biggest rivals. The third is one that literally some of your greatest moments in football history have come up against LSU.
Yeah.
Like it's that tradition. Now, also, you didn't win in Baton Rouge for like a good 20, 25 years.
It happens, Joe.
But hey, that happens. Vandy is going to be Auburn's common opponent for the next 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Now that was rumored. People had kind of put together like, all right, well, if they're going to the 9-game schedule, here are the 3, because you have to have, everybody's got to have the same amount. Like Vanderbilt has got to have 3 common opponents.
Yeah, but again, scheduling Vanderbilt at that time is also like scheduling Kentucky or a Mississippi State, where it looks like an easier SEC opponent.
No, again, this is also based. Everything we're thinking about right now with Vanderbilt is 100% connected to Diego Pavia.
Yeah,
like it is 1,000,000,000,000%. And
once he's gone, who knows what'll happen?
Clark Lee's next major move that he is going to be judged by is who he follows up with recruiting and signing to replace Diego Pavia once he is gone.
I wonder if he liked TJ Finley's attempt at beating them just this past weekend. He did have 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. 22 of 35. Could make a return to the SEC, Joe. That was a complete joke.
Alabama
70-21. I just wanted to throw that back out to you guys.
So we're talking about Vandy. Their common opponents. Obviously, they're going to have Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn, as we've just mentioned, and Mississippi State. Those are going to be the 3 for them. I look at it at this whole thing, and I'm thinking some of these make a lot of sense, but then you look at LSU's, and it's Arkansas, the boot.
Okay.
Ole Miss, I guess proximity would be that.
I look at Ole Miss and LSU around the same level when it comes to the SEC. I think they're both very competitive at times, but they're not yet over that hump yet. So that's how I look at those 2.
But then LSU's 3rd common opponent they're going to have for the next 4 years. Who do you think that they would have chosen?
I would have loved for it to be Alabama, just because in my life, I got to see a majority of those Alabama-LSU games were spectacular.
Well, and I think that we're now at that period that I think people are starting to see that the LSU-Alabama game was more about Nick Saban than what it was actually LSU and Alabama, and that has gone away. So they have Arkansas, they have Ole Miss. You're pointing. I want to see what you're going to point and say.
Oklahoma.
No.
Okay.
Texas A&M.
Oh, so I guess Arkansas would be the easier team on that, even though that is one of the rivalry games. So they stack it on the last 2, and Arkansas is their kind of easy opponent,
I know, but
which it's again easy with captions around.
How are you not keeping LSU Florida? Like, how are you not keeping, and I know Auburn and LSU don't play each other this year.
That is weird.
But how do you not keep LSU Florida? Like that, and with Florida, their 3 commons, obviously Georgia, cocktail party. But then after that, Kentucky and South Carolina.
Yeah, I feel like LSU and Florida is like that cocktail party 2.0. That's at least how I look at it, because of the culture that goes into that game. You got one side from the Bayou, they're cooking up their po' boys. You got the other side cooking up their Gators. I mean,
Gators.
That right there, you go into that tailgate, you're not leaving without a stomach ache.
No, actually, man, Gators delicious. But
you're full.
You're full. I don't know about stomach ache, but you definitely won't be hungry on the drive back.
I get some seafood that might be a little old.
But I'm looking and I'm like, some of these I get, but the other ones, these don't make sense to me. Like, to me, Auburn playing Vanderbilt, because again, I want to see how Clark Lee's going to be after Diego Pavia leaves, because unless the NCAA wants to grant him yet another one, which apparently he's trying for,
they're not going to.
Unless they want to grant him another one, this is Pavia's last season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what will that be then? Like, what will Vanderbilt be after this?
The image right now, it is focused around that Diego Pavia swag.
It's all connected to it.
It really is. And like afterwards, I mean, what are you going to think about? Like, I don't think of Diego Pavia as the smartsy kid that goes into a school and he's focused on his studies. I mean, you put a pair of glasses on him, maybe I'll think otherwise. But I think of Vanderbilt right now as the new kid on the block, the swag, all of that stuff. That's what Vanderbilt's got right now.
It is. And then they have the big win over the weekend, obviously, against Georgia State, which we go, obviously, like, haven't lost to them in the last year anyway. And I'm looking and I'm curious, when was and how many times can you truly sit and watch a football team and think about 100% of that program is connected to the starting quarterback?
I would say Billy Napier's career was kind of connected to DJ Lagway's success.
But no, what I'm saying is in a positive way. Like, Florida is still Florida. When Tebow was there and Tebow was having the career that he had.
It's Tebow time.
You weren't connecting. Urban Meyer's entire success. I mean, obviously, I think we could say Gene Chiswick's his success with Cam Newton. That would probably be one.
Yeah.
But how many times are we connecting the success of a program solely based on one player and not having the success out? Because even Auburn went to the national championship after Cam.
Mm-hmm.
But Vanderbilt is kind of like I'd almost say like a Baylor situation at times. Like, yes, Baylor wins, but really we connected Baylor to RG3, where we are connecting every bit of this success for Vandy with what we are seeing on the field with Diego Pavia. Like, when he leaves, how is they going to follow it up? It's like the one-hit wonder. What's going to be your next hit? What is that next hit going to be? Or are you going to be a Mambo number 5, and that's all you're going to be for the rest of your life?
I don't want to throw in the Dabo Swinney and Trevor Lawrence, but is that one that could kind of come up?
Well, no, because before him, he had Deshaun Watson, and before Deshaun Watson,
they found success. They found success. You're right.
Like there's 2 or 3 quarterbacks that he has had that has been helped him through that tenure. It was Trevor Lawrence was just the next one.
He was,
and he was the one that was the quarterback when they destroyed Alabama.
We forget about a guy like Deshaun Watson because he doesn't play football even though he's on a team.
Because of what's happened to him in the NFL, you kind of forget about how amazing he was as a college player.
Spectacular. It's kind of the same thing we see with Jameis Winston. I mean, spectacular college football player, was really good kind of whenever he was at Tampa Bay throwing interceptions, but a lot of touchdowns as well. But you forget about how good he was whenever he was going to national championships.
Phone lines are open to you, 256-576-977. I know we got some phones going off. You could hear it over John's microphone at times whenever the phone starts ringing.
Gotta love it.
We'll get to those phone calls when we come back as we continue. Next, the SEC's 3 common opponents, or the 3 yearly opponents, have been released from CeeLo. We'll have more for that when we come back on 97.7 ESPN, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and ESPN Winchester.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves have won 8 consecutive games. Chris Sale on the mound today for Atlanta, a $2.47 favorite over Mackenzie Gore. The Nationals plus 198, 7 flat the total. Monday Night Football, Ravens 4.5-point favorites over the Detroit Lions. Falcons dropped a 30-0 decision at Carolina as the Falcons turned the ball over 3 times, and they were just 5 of 16 on third down. Falcons back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this week, a 3-point dog to the Washington Commanders. Alabama Crimson Tide, 3-point dogs at Georgia this week. It's Auburn plus 7 at Texas A&M. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your number one choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4601 Whitesburg Drive in Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Keep holding on when my brain's ticking like a bomb.
Common opponents in the SEC have been announced for the next 4 seasons as the SEC makes the move to 9 conference opponents. Lots of questions, little answers, but there's going to be a lot of speculation, at least here on the Blitz. Welcome back in, John Abraham, Joe Hunk.
Sup?
And Joe, the question that comes in my mind first when I see this isn't about, who's being left off of respected teams' schedules. It's more who has got the hardest slate of 3 teams, which we will get to in the matter of a few moments.
And I also believe that with a lot of this is 2 of the 3 are going to remain the same. Like you're going to have 2, and then there's going to be that third one that's going to be the rotator.
Yeah.
You know, Auburn and Vandy are not going to play each other for the next decade. Like Alabama and Mississippi State are not going to play each other for the next decade. Like it's going to be probably the first 2 in this are going to be your common opponent for like that'll be your 2 that you are definitely keeping for the future.
Because we're not seeing Alabama lose Auburn or Tennessee.
And these are also not in alphabetical order because for Mississippi State it says Ole Miss, Vandy, and then Alabama. Well, that's not in alphabetical order. Mm-hmm. So it would say that the Mississippi State Vanderbilt or Mississippi State and Alabama game is going to be the one that will rotate every 4 years to you bringing in a new opponent. So your phone lines and our phone lines are open for your phone calls, 256-576-977. Brandon, welcome into the Blitz, man. How's it going?
Brandon, how you doing, bro?
Well, I was sitting here thinking about Dabo Swinney and some lyrics came to mind.
All right.
Who are you to wave your finger? You must have been out of your head. I hold deep in muddy waters. You practically raise the dead.
There you go.
Rob the grave, the snow, the cradle, then burn the evidence down. Soapbox, house of cards and glass, so don't be tossing your stones around.
I love it, Brandon. I love it. Was that? I know there's a combination of some lyrics there that I think I've heard before. Was that a combination of just one song or a few songs right there?
No, that would be Tool from 10,000 Days to Pot.
I knew it.
John knows his Tools.
I've been listening to Tool like nonstop. On my way to work, I was listening to that as well. That is great. Clemson, definitely one of those teams. I have a conversation for later in the week about the teams that are surprising us the most, that are trending the wrong way Clemson is one of them. And yes, they did lose to Syracuse at home 34-21. And if you guys had that on your wacky underdog picks, you would be winners because Syracuse was a big-time underdog going into that game.
God, I wanted to take that game, and I didn't. I kicked myself sideways for not doing it. I knew that there's some weird stuff going on with Clemson, and then beat them at home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Lord,
convincingly. Like it wasn't a last second thing. Like it was a very controlled the entire game type of football game for Syracuse.
Well, a second string quarterback had to come in for Syracuse going into the second half as well. So I mean, that was something that also was like, okay, well, Clemson will be able to overwhelm this kid at least. But no, he was still throwing touchdowns.
If this game had been in the Carrier Dome, I would have taken it 100%.
No doubt.
But I wasn't sure being home at Clemson. That's probably the worst home loss they've had in 30 years.
I have to definitely look into that.
I mean, and
even last year was close.
Well, I think that it doesn't mean – I don't think he's talking about the score. I think he's talking about the way the game looked from start to finish.
They looked out of it by the second quarter.
Yeah, not like this game doesn't look that good. Like start to finish, they just did not look good at all.
Well, Dabo Swinney, to me, he was all last week just blowing up at people. Well, I said this to Drew Scott yesterday, what a difference a week makes. He wasn't doing all that crap that hollering yesterday. I guess when you realize I make almost $1 million a month, I might want to calm that mouth down a little bit.
You're not
I might
wrong.
want to have a little bit of contriteness to me and say, hey, you know what? We're having a bad year. We need to make some changes. Please don't forget we've won the league 8 out of the last 10 years, including last year. Not a good year. I don't understand this whole bravado, and especially like with Sarkisian. You know, he was snapping at people about a quarterback last week. Oh, there's nothing wrong with him. The hell you say? We can tell there's something wrong with him. If you want to lie to yourself, lie to yourself. But don't lie to us. And Dabo was just like taking shots at people because he had a bad year.
Well, wasn't it last week where he even said, you know, if this university's tired of winning, fire me.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, it's all right though. Next week they got to go to North Carolina. It's going to be the Battle of the Bullied. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're going to play that game at 9 a.m. on Cartoon Network too.
Isn't that the CW? I'm trying to think. Isn't that CW? I was about to say. They're
going to dig up Space Ghost so that he can call the game.
That'd probably be better than making that game with no commentary because that game itself is just going to be hard to watch.
Pretty rough.
All
Pretty
right.
rough stuff, gentlemen.
Thanks for that, Brandon. We appreciate that conversation. We'll get back into more when we continue on the Blitz. Winchester, hop in on WZZN TV for the second hour. When we come back on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got you on the other side, Bama Big Rick. No doubt about it.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
Makes the catch, makes them bang into each other, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, scores!
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide start SEC play against the Georgia Bulldogs. Our coverage begins at 3:30 on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing, and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window. Now is the time to take advantage of their huge end of summer sale and get ready for the fall. Right now, all windows are 35% off. All exterior doors are 40% off. Now you get the whole door, just the price is 40% off. And get this, 0% interest for 18 months, as in no interest, nada, none. As always, the estimates are free, as is the lifetime warranty. To make an appointment, go to yourhomewindow.com. That's yourhomewindow.com. Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high, but so is average consumer debt? Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and is brought to you by Guthrie's, home of the original chicken finger and proud partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Visit us in-store or online at Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are thoughts from Alabama President Dr. Peter Mueller from his appearance last week on Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show.
I started to say convince you to come here, but I don't think that was a very difficult thing to do, was it?
You know, it's hard when you're you're negotiating with someone and they're saying, well, what do you need? And you're so excited, to be part of a community. I came from another university with a large athletics program. And so, I wanted to be a place that had incredible athletics, had an incredible student experience. I mean, we have, and you all know this in the audience, we have the most beautiful campus in the entire country. And so to be able to have students that are excited to be there, that are students that work for a living, they have grit, they have, they want to do something in the world, but then to have this athletics program that is just, the best in the country. And it's going to continue to be that way. So it's super easy to come here.
I'll have more in a moment.
This year we honor the most important anniversary ever. An event that reshaped civilization as we know it. A day that would lead to something so flawless that nothing could ever really compare. People have tried to match it, but have failed. This year, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Guthrie's, the home of the original chicken finger. Just talking about it gets me all choked up. And hungry for a chicken finger. Guthrie's, an original obsession for 60 years.
Join us tomorrow for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves have won 8 consecutive games. Chris Sale on the mound today for Atlanta, a $2.47 favorite over Mackenzie Gore. The Nationals plus 198, 7 flat the total. Monday Night Football, Ravens 4.5-point favorites over the Detroit Lions. Falcons dropped a 30-0 decision at Carolina as the Falcons turned the ball over 3 times, and they were just 5 of 16 on third down. Falcons back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this week, a 3-point dog to the Washington Commanders. Alabama Crimson Tide, 3-point dogs at Georgia this week. It's Auburn plus 7 at Texas A&M. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. Light rainfall could continue heading into this Monday night. Otherwise, we'll continue to sit under partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures fall into the upper 60s for the overnight. Isolated showers going to be possible heading into our Tuesday. We'll continue to see partly sunshine. High temperatures warm into the low 90s for the afternoon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham. Phone calls are flowing in, and that means that we've got a couple of lines still open to you at 256-576-977 as Auburn, quote-unquote, loses to Oklahoma.
No, they lose, Joe. It's
They
a
did
loss.
lose. They absolutely did lose. They got sacked 9 times, which does tie the Oklahoma team record.
Yes.
You had the SEC, I want to say almost minutes after. Was it minutes or was it the next day? It felt like it was very quickly that the SEC put out a statement about the officiating in the crew.
I think it was the next morning.
It may have been the next morning, but it was.
Could have been the evening.
It is one that when you woke up and read it, you were like, oh, they actually commented on this. Okay, that's how bad it actually was. So Auburn does lose there, and they are now unranked going on the road to take on Texas A&M this weekend. And we all know what's happening in Athens, Georgia this weekend, as well as Alabama and Georgia are going to be playing. Also, other matchups that we're going to be paying attention to is going to be happening over in Mississippi as 15th ranked Ole Miss is going to be hosting number 4 LSU. And Tennessee is heading to Starkville to take on Mississippi State.
Wow.
So those are some of the SEC matchups. There are 2 other ones outside.
We cannot forget there's also an SEC versus no conference team in Arkansas and Notre Dame,
which
I believe these teams are a lot closer than people expect.
Raise your hand if you thought going into that Arkansas would have more wins than Notre Dame.
How are they still ranked? Please.
Oh, it's easy. You can't think up another name of a team, so you just put Notre Dame in. That's exactly what it is.
Right.
You shouldn't lose 2 games and still be ranked like that. So phone lines are open to you. 256-576-977. Bama Big Rick, how's it going, man?
How you doing, Bama Big Rick?
I'm good.
There you are.
I'm good. I'm good, guys. I'm good, guys. But listen, I'm listening to the callers talking about Dabo should be quiet. You know what I mean? These guys have $30-40 million in the bank. And if you buy them out, they're going to be multimillionaires. What do they have to lose? You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
And what's bad?
We should learn how to learn from them.
The other thing about this is that also with his pedigree, and you look around college football right now and how many coaches that have won national championships just in the last 15 years that are still coaching.
Right.
He may be the only one. I mean, really, outside of, if you look back at, because Harbaugh's not there anymore. Dabo's still coaching, but you also, Big O, Coach O's not coaching anymore. Nick Saban's gone now. Like, you start looking back at all the coaches that have won. Les Miles isn't even coaching anymore. So you look back at a pedigree for a championship program, he's going to be sought after. There's going to be a program that's going to be like, we will take you right now with open arms.
Correct. So I just want to pipe in on that one. So
all good, man.
I get on the free speech next week. So
yes, sir.
You guys have a good day.
Hey, man, thank you for that, sir.
Appreciate you, Bama Big Rick. You guys can join him on the phone lines, 256-576-977. They're always there, similar to Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. And if you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to file your free quote today. And for Dabo Swinney, if they terminate his contract without cause, it would be $60 million. Just to throw that out there because, of course, Clemson right now got to be a little stingy about their money as they're trying to look towards other ways to possibly bring in money through the TV deals because, of course, ESPN not paying the same amount that we're seeing the SEC and the Big Ten get from those TV deals. But $60 million would be a good chunk of change out of their pocket that would lessen the amount that they have towards getting the hell out of the ACC.
Okay, so a couple things. First off,
I don't know if anybody would want them, though.
Do we have anybody else on hold right now? Okay, so that I'm making sure to know we're getting those phone lines set up so you can give us a call at 256-576-977. I went to, as I made that statement about the college football coaches that are still coaching that have won national championships. Obviously, Kirby Smart is one of those as well. Ryan Day is still there. Like those are some of the names when you're talking about national championship winning coaches. If you and I'm my first stop was Wikipedia, because normally, at least with this data where it's actually specific data, they're pretty good with this information. Do you know that in Wikipedia they have an Oregon as a national champion as well in 2024? That there are two publications that named Oregon a national champion.
Huh.
I did the same thing. Like, hold up. Like, I'm trying to figure out who these are. But I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. But also, look at this. Here are the national championship winning coaches that are still coaching college football.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you have Ryan Day and Kirby Smart, as I mentioned.
Of course.
Dabo. Urban Meyer's not. Jimbo is not. They list 2012 Notre Dame and Brian Kelly as one publication calling them a national champion. That is not correct. So not even going to name him in this. But that is it.
That is it.
That's it.
Urban Meyer's nowhere to be seen. And then you get down to like the 2006, 2005, Mac Brown. He was with North Carolina last year, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, because he was the one that they let go.
Way past his pay grade. And on top of that, he was only getting paid $5 million. Bill Belichick's making $10 million to start off worse than what Mac Brown was doing. But you have like the Les Miles as well, all the way back in the 2000s. And yeah, I mean, if you cut out Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron, of course, he's talking in his raspy voice somewhere else. He's not coaching. He's not leading any team. So you're not wrong. Ryan Day, Kirby Smart, Dabo Swinney, those are the three guys that are coaching and still have chances to get to the playoffs that are the only ones with national championships.
Yeah, the national championships for Oregon that are being claimed is from a publication called Anderson Sports and WolfRatings.com.
Probably some Washington Post type thing.
It was like, so there, because if you go through, there's a few other ones that they have up for other teams as well.
Yeah.
But looking at this whole thing is, if Dabo were to leave, let's not forget that it was Dabo's problem is the reason why the roster is what it is, because he was the one that was kind of against NIL and everything along those lines.
It's outdated.
It is outdated. I could honestly see if he truly wanted to. Now, I know he has obviously used the transfer portal. I don't know what his feelings are now about this. But as much as the state of Alabama appreciates Dabo Swinney and kind of loves Dabo Swinney for what he did at Alabama, and obviously, even though it was with Clemson, still being able to claim him, he's a Birmingham boy.
Yeah.
This is very much an old man screaming at the cloud thing, where it feels like you are looking very outdated in your way of thinking in 2025.
Yeah, and I feel like you've been a coach long enough to see yourself turn into like the villain of the story.
Absolutely.
And even Randall hopped in on the chat over on WZZN TV, and he was throwing out, don't taunt your fan base. If you want to stay employed, stay on their best behavior. And on top of that, try and win some games. He can still turn things around, but it's definitely not looking good right now. And if you want to win games, you're wanting to keep me here, that's the last thing that's happening right now.
In all reality, as much as Dabo is a tremendous coach as far as during his period of time he's been at Clemson, because look, let's face it, outside of 2008, he's basically been the head coach there. That's all that they've known. He's got them to national championships. He's won national championship. So you can't sit and say that he hasn't been good enough to be able to do those, because he's won multiple national championships. But with the way his thinking and the way that he's kind of talking, unless he changes his mindset with NIL, I could see him going to a school like a UAB and then them letting go of Trent Dilfer, Dabo coming in, hometown boy, back in Alabama, and he's not having to quote unquote deal with the NIL the same way that you would in other ones, because the players that you're going to be recruiting are not going to be the same players that are going to Alabama, Auburn, and some of the other ones. I could see him doing something like that where he's trying to build up a program than anything else.
Yeah. And this is just because we're talking about a coach that isn't willing to give up a head coaching spot because of the changes that have come. And he's able to stay true to who he is. And I respect that. But again, the years are going to go by, and we're already seeing it right now. The cracks are going to show. But we do have Phil the Blacksmith on with us. He's got some comments on this subject. Phil, how you doing today, man?
Hey, yo, man. I'm doing pretty good. Just hanging in there.
Good deal, good deal. What do you got on your mind, bro?
Well, listen. Dabo, he's got the horses in the stable to not be losing to Georgia Tech or Syracuse either one.
He does.
I mean, I get it, the NIL and the whole deal, and Dabo's missed the boat on that right there. But, I'm sorry, but I guess it's just my own opinion. But his arrogance about himself, and he is a coach, but his arrogance about himself is what's causing them losing ball games because he's got the horses there to win them balls.
And I said that about this Syracuse game because I was concerned about Clemson, but I wasn't giving them, I wasn't saying that they would lose to a team like Syracuse. Again, we're talking about a middle to lower tier ACC squad, but of course that might be different. We just got what we saw in the first few games. But then, of course, Syracuse did what they did. They got up quick, and Clemson, they looked like they were like a chicken with their head cut off. They weren't really able to do anything. And then even came in the second half whenever there was a second string quarterback that came in. I'm not going to stress it enough, but the talent is way more than what we're seeing with Syracuse, and they're still losing these games.
What's really strange about this, because I pulled up their recruiting class from last year, and they have Amari Adams, who was the number 7 overall player in the country. He's also from South Carolina, so that kind of plays into the reason why he wanted to go to Clemson. But they only signed maybe 5 4-stars. And the rest of that signing class was nothing but 3-stars. The quarterback they signed last year through the class in this class was the number 59 quarterback in the 2025 quarterback class.
Sheesh.
Like that doesn't, unless you're talking about a guy that he's in a triple option offense and he never really got to throw, and so the 3-stars really aren't doing him justice. Like we've heard that before. That's not a quarterback that you're going to want to bring in behind a Klubnik and be able to replace him. Like that is we're going to now need to start going through the transfer portal to try to find some sort of quarterback play because we don't have it on campus.
But Dabo's got to worry about coaching. Just like that press conference last week. That's the most goofiest press conference I've ever seen in my life. He's like just daring them. Y'all won't have to pay me $60 to get rid of him.
Absolutely.
Get rid of me. I don't care.
I
appreciate it, brother.
Hey, thank you.
He knows his backers as well as the school itself does not want to pay that $60 million. He's going to tempt him. He's going to poke the bear. But again, I mean, he's not going to get fired this year. And who knows? He might have one of those resurrection type seasons next year where he actually does start dipping into the portal. If he doesn't find success, then he's definitely gone.
I don't know if it's he's going to get fired. I could see him stepping away. I mean, I genuinely could see him being like, you know what? Like, it's very similar to a Nick Saban. You know what? The landscape is changing right now. This isn't the college football that I want to be a head coach for. Maybe the big boy football isn't for me right now.
But
like maybe it.
He has been, and yes, that would be that would have to be decision. He'd have to do a Nick Saban type of thing and step away from the sport. If they fire him, that's a totally different problem. But I mean, this is a guy that we're talking about who's got talent on his team, who was playing at home against Syracuse, who should have got that win. And now you're thinking about it moving forward, playing against Bill Belichick and this other squad in the ACC. And for the ACC, let's just say this. Thank God that Florida's doing something, because if they carried on what they did last year, then nobody would even care to talk about this conference right now. I mean, come on. Who are you going to focus on? The Georgia Techs, the Louisvilles? I mean, where are we going from there? Miami is a really good team. But again, we're looking at one really good team a Florida State team that caught Alabama off guard and still has not really proven anything against anybody too high up in the standings. And then you have a smorgasbord of mediocre teams. I mean, I don't know what the ACC really has to say for
the
themselves.
Clemson North Carolina game isn't until next Saturday.
Sorry,
they have a bye week this week. So he's got a bye week to kind of have some sort of a conversation, try to figure out what direction and everything he's going. But I'm getting the same feeling about him that I was getting about Nick Saban. I was getting this, you know what? I don't know if this is what I'm wanting to do anymore. And I don't know if I want to put in the effort for something that is changing as much as what it is.
Respect to Clemson, respect to Dabo Swinney. I still wouldn't compare any of what he has done and what he is going to do to what Nick Saban has done.
Also, did anybody else hear the jab from Nick Saban on game day? I feel like everybody missed that. Like, I wanted to go to AL.com and see if anybody was commenting on that. Because he literally took a jab at Alabama. And I'm wondering how nobody else caught that. Because the moment he said it, I looked at my wife and I was going, did he really just take that jab? Like, I've come to the point on Saturdays where I put my phone down.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to look at X and all that while I'm watching the game. Like, I want to focus on all the games.
It's hard to look at my phone when I got my brothers keeping me up to date on every second of the Cleveland Browns game as well.
Right. So. But I'm just, and for myself, I like watching it where I'm gaining my own opinion, not what I'm learning, not what I'm seeing on X and maybe X's opinion,
Reasonable.
And so that's why I was curious about it. And I didn't even look to see if anybody commented on it. But I want to see if I can find the audio at some point in time for the end of the show, because when he made it, I went, wait a second.
Well, we'll definitely be talking about the talk in Tuscaloosa, but on the other side, we're going to be heading down to the Plains, talk a little bit of this Auburn Tigers squad as they got a close loss. They had a close loss against a really good-looking Oklahoma team, but a totally different game plan for both sides, and we're going to be breaking that down just a little bit more on the other side with Ike Jones from the War Rapport here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Due to popular demand, this offer is extended through September 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call Trajan today at 256-208-9000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Listen to the Woody Anderson Ford Scoreboard Show, powered by Lake Gunnersville Ace Hardware. Each Friday night with Scott Tyson on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just give me that boom, boom, boom. Just give me that boom, boom. Just give me that, give me that boom, boom, boom.
All right, I found it.
I don't care what
We'll
you got.
we'll finish off the show with that if you missed College Game Day on Saturday. As we are continuing, Ike Jones is going to be joining us here in just a few moments to talk about Auburn and their upsets. I wouldn't call it an upset, but their upset bid that they were trying to have against Oklahoma and losing there, and kind of what that means going forward as Auburn now is going to get ready to go to Texas A&M and College Station to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. We also have this weekend, obviously, the big matchup we're focusing on in the state as well is going to be Alabama and Georgia, as that's going to be taking place. You'll be able to listen to every single second of that on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Phone lines are also open to you at 256-576-977 as we continue here. And of course, you can always watch on WZZN TV, where you can get those comments in just in case you are in one where you are not able to kind of talk. And so that's what Randall's been doing. Brandon hopped in there as well. We also have gotten Steven in early on this morning talking about what all has been going on between with everything happening there as well. And tomorrow we'll focus a little bit more on the NFL and what is happening in Nashville. That's really kind of breaking my heart, but we'll also, talk a little bit about that as we continue on this week.
Talk about tonight's matchup at least, because it will be on our airways. A little bit of Monday Night Football action going on in Baltimore. Detroit facing off against the Ravens. It should be an interesting one. I'm really just looking for Derrick Henry to break out in this game. Joe, do you believe in this Detroit team to get an upset win against the Ravens? Because right now it seems like the Ravens might be able to take it and run with it. But again, we can't count out Detroit. I mean, this is a playoff team.
No, it is a playoff caliber team, and you do have a lot of great skill set position players, and you obviously are talking about Jared Goff, but when I'm comparing Jared Goff to Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, I think that the Baltimore Ravens defense right now is one that's going to be able to contain him. And when you're looking at the way that they have played so far this season, yes, they had a massive win against the Bears, which really makes the Dallas Cowboys loss yesterday look even worse. But I just don't believe that at home that Baltimore is going to lose a game like this. Could I see it if this game was happening in Detroit? Yes. Not so much in Baltimore.
No doubt about it.
I think that plays too big of a role.
And if you guys pick this in your wacky underdog picks, just make sure you focus on those Lions, because if they win, you'll get 4 points towards that end goal. That spread has adjusted throughout the last few days, but it's sitting at 4.5 right now in favor of the Baltimore Ravens. But that's enough NFL talk for today. We'll put it on the docket for tomorrow, because we got to talk some of this Auburn Tigers squad as they went down and faced off against a really good Oklahoma team in Norman. And joining us now is Ike Jones from the War Rapport to talk a little bit more about it. Ike, how are you doing today?
A little tired after all this driving back and forth to Norman, but otherwise, all right.
How was the trip? I mean, outside the game itself, how was the trip?
It wasn't too bad. Not a lot to do in Norman, so I just kind of went, and the stadium is nice, and they have the whole Heisman stuff. It's cool. I'm a little jaded by the trip, so it's like I don't have fond memories.
Understandable.
So
it's
nice or whatever.
How long was that drive?
Or whatever.
10 hours.
Wow, man, that's like us going to media days last year. Golly, you just to casually do it on a weekend, and it didn't come out the way you guys wanted it. And again, 24-17 is nothing to be too upset about. Of course, it is a loss within SEC play, but it's the first loss of the season. You got to learn a little bit more about your offense. The defense still looked pretty stout. I mean, how did you feel about this performance after you got through, the thoughts of having to drive back, and then also, it was a loss. But again, it was I hate to say a good loss, because there was also the penalties that didn't turn into penalties, or the fumble that wasn't a fumble. But talk about it, wrapping it all up in a retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely positives to take away from this game. You saw the potential of what this passing offense could be, right? Like the big thing everybody said, Auburn can't pass the ball downfield. And then Cam Coleman is, I think there is currently an APB out for him for child abuse. The way that he did that freshman DB over there for Oklahoma, consistently getting open down the field.
Yeah.
Jackson Arnold's just got to be a little bit more accurate, right? If he's better with being able to connect with Cam Coleman, this is a non-issue, because they probably have 3 or 4 touchdown connections in that game. You learned a lot about your ability to stop the run in SEC play. You still did a good job against not a great rushing attack there with Oklahoma, but John Mateer had really been hurting people with his legs, and you kept him under wraps for the vast majority of the game. Still have a lot to work on with the pass defense, though. Yeah. You just do, and your pass protection still needs to get some help going against arguably one of the best defensive lines in college football. So, take that with a grain of salt, but still needs to get much better, because you gave up way too many pressures, and your quarterback's holding the ball way too long.
Okay, so that's where I was wanting to ask about this, because I was very open about the fact that when you're watching a broadcast on television, you're not getting the all-22. You can't see all the routes that the wide receivers are running, so you don't know how much is actually on Jackson Arnold for how long he held it, and how much of this was him going, there's nobody that is close that are, to the spot where I'm supposed to throw it yet, and I'm having to hold on to it. How many of those 9 sacks were on Jackson Arnold, and how much of it was on the play call?
I don't have an exact number for you, because I have not done my film review on that yet. That's coming up tonight.
He's been driving,
I'd
Joe.
say at least 2 or 3.
Okay.
So 2 or 3 is the number.
At least. I mean,
gotcha.
Again, and that's from me watching it live in the stadium. There were times where I was like, oh, you got him. Let it rip.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where some of those things you have to kind of throw it with some anticipation of where the route is going to break open. You can see where the DB is moving, and you just kind of have to let it rip into the space and trust your guys are going to get there. And some of them were, I think he was just reading the wrong side of the field. And so when he finally got back to the other side, the window had closed on some stuff. So he's just got to speed his processing up a little bit. And then other times there actually were no people open, and he waited too long to try to escape the pocket.
Yeah. And that's kind of something I wanted to get into. But I do want to talk to you about it from your standpoint, actually being in the stadium, watching the way that this offense ran. They were going deep in the first, and then they adjust in the second. What was the most glaring thing that you saw with those adjustments to try and get the better of the Sooners?
Offensively, so Oklahoma started. Of course, they started shading a safety over to Cam Coleman's side because they were like, "All right, we've seen enough of this."
Smart.
And he still was able to get open later in the game. But I think the biggest thing that I would say is I didn't see enough of, but you saw it on the touchdown, and you saw it on the big run Damari Alston had. They didn't run a lot of stuff wide, right? Like there was not a lot of off tackle, not a lot of speed sweep stuff but those things were successful. I wish they had mixed those things in a little bit more into the run game to try to keep Oklahoma, who was, they were coming downhill on every snap, whether it was a linebacker or a safety. That's why a lot of that deep stuff was open, because they were just like daring Auburn to throw the football. And so I think maybe they fell in love with the idea of we're going to have this stuff open if we can just block them, and they just didn't block them up enough.
Well, with that as well, because I was curious about when I'm watching this game in the first half, and obviously that is when Jackson Arnold was getting sacked a lot, and that's why I asked you the question about the play call, because I felt like once Auburn had a little bit of success going over the top, that they just wanted to continue to just try to do that the entire time. And it wasn't until halftime that they actually said, okay, maybe we should start running some routes underneath just to give him an out real fast. Like, was that what was happening in the first half? Was everything almost a go route? Like, what was happening?
No, Oklahoma actually was sitting on the underneath routes, right? Like if you recall early in the game, they tried to hit a quick slant and Jackson almost threw an interception on it, right? Like, so they were sitting on everything that was underneath, the swing routes, the stop routes. Like they were basically like, all right, we're going to pressure to try to force the quick throw and then anticipate where the quick throw is going to go. They were trying to force Auburn to do that. And Jackson and Hugh Freeze, to his credit, was like, okay, we're going to be a little bit more patient and take advantage of the fact that these DBs are waiting to get downhill on a quick throw and hit them with a bunch of double moves.
Well, and that's why I was the whole play calling all in itself in this is also looking in now on the defensive side. They kind of did a good job at times in containing Mateer. Like he wasn't running around the same way that he was in that. But all in all, in this right here, you're looking at this. The other issue that I'm curious about is the kicking issue. Obviously, it was a story on College Game Day. You know this whole idea of, hey, if it's in front of 50 yards, we think that McPherson can make it. If it's further than 50 yards away, we've got another guy in this. And I'm all for, absolutely, I want him to be healthy and understanding and in the colostomy bag and all that. If you didn't see the story, it's really interesting. But at the same time, we're also talking about now what's happening in between the white lines. Do they have a kicker? And I mean that genuinely, because it sounds like 2 or 3 guys that could possibly do it, but do they have a kicker?
It doesn't look like it. Like, I'm just going to be honest. Yeah. If it's not Alex McPherson, it almost seems as if, you get it past the 50 and you're going for it on 4th down unless you get it past up to the 30. Because the kicking situation, Gibbs wasn't even close on that field goal attempt, right? Like, and Towns Magoo has been erratic at best on his attempt. So it's just like, I don't know how you trust your ability to make long field goals. So you have to, now you forced yourself in a play calling scenario to have to try to get further into the other team's side of the field in order to feel confident, because Alex can kick it, but he's got the limitations on the leg and the distance right now. So I would say if it's beyond maybe like the 33, 34, they're going for it on 4th down.
And that's something you definitely do not want.
They had to do when it was 4th and 11.
We talk about how important it could be in the NFL right now with Brandon Aubrey being that guy for the Cowboys. He's able to kick pretty much half the field. In college, you don't get as much of that, but you will see some guys that'll make a name for themselves and be those stars because they can kick long field goals and get those points that could win games for you. And that's definitely going to be a concern moving forward. But Ike Jones from the War Rapport is our guest. And I do want to talk about the running game, because whether it is Jackson Arnold or Jeremiah Cobb, it seems like there is a lot of success there. Is it due to the talent of these two players, or How much is that offensive line helping out with the run game? Because it looks like they're trying their best with the pass game, but of course those sacks do not show for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the run game blocking has been good, not great. But I think a lot of it, of why the success has been happening in the run game, is because teams have been so afraid of Auburn's pass attack, right? Like, nobody prior to Oklahoma was saying, all right, let's just see if they can actually throw it. Everybody has just been kind of like, nah, that dude Cam Coleman's really good. We're gonna back off of him. Eric Singleton's really fast. We're gonna have to push Shade of safety over the top of him. Malcolm Simmons can run. Okay, no, we'll live with you guys running the football. And Oklahoma was like, all right, well, let's just see. Let's just see if y'all could actually do it. And it was mixed results as to whether or not it's going to be successful there. So I'm very interested to see if teams in the future who may not have the same talent at defensive line employ the same type of tactics.
Yeah, it definitely will be intriguing, and it's not going to come next week because we're looking at a Texas A&M Aggie squad that's ranked 5th in rushing defense. And of course, that's kind of what this conversation is about moving into next week. Got to go on the road yet again, and it's a Texas A&M Aggie squad with a very speedy quarterback. Offense hasn't had the same productivity as some of the other top offenses within the SEC, but their defense really stout. What are the takeaways from this past game that you need to see shifted when it comes to facing off in Aggieland?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see, because they've got some talented wide receivers over there for Texas A&M and KC Concepcion and Mario Craver. So you're going to have to figure out how to be better about making sure, like, some of that quick game, the slants and stuff are not decimating your defense. So how do you solve that mystery right there while dealing with the legs of a guy like Marcel Reed? That's going to be a challenge for this defense for sure. But then on the other side of the ball, Jackson Arnold just has to be a little more consistent in his ability to hit those deep shots. When they're there, like, you gotta pay him off a little bit more than what he did in this last game.
Because he did overthrow a few wide receivers in that game as well. And I look at it, and we talked about at the very beginning of the show, is I felt like these were two teams coming into this that just had a really good game plan against each other for the obvious reason. And I was curious about how much of this actually rolls over now into that Texas A&M matchup, because we like to say that, week A leads to week B and week B leads to week C, but I felt like this is kind of an outlier. So now going into it, were there things that Auburn could take away that they go, I think that we could do this against other teams as well, not just Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you found out that you have a defense that, particularly in your front seven, is going to be tough for teams to block. Like, that defensive line and those linebackers are absolutely a pain to deal with. And I think that you realize that despite the craziness is, I mean, this is going to sound absolutely insane for anybody listening to this that is, seeing the number of sacks and pressures that Oklahoma has. Yeah. And I'm about to say to you, you realize you actually can block pretty well up front in pass protection, because again, a lot of that was, he had time. It wasn't like the pressure was on him immediately every single drop back. So you realize, well, we actually can protect fairly well. We have to figure out how to get the ball out a little bit more quickly, or get our quarterback to analyze a little bit more quickly. So I think, again, as talented as Oklahoma's defensive front is, Auburn's offensive line did a good job. And let me just give this small aside. Your true freshman center, who came in after Connor Lew went down for a little while, came in and played absolutely phenomenally.
Hey,
so you feel good about where you are with him.
How old is he, by the way? I'm just curious. How old is he?
He is definitely younger than Ryan Williams.
He is 17. God bless it, he's 17.
Well, we gotta put that on a news report now.
Yeah, we need every single time he comes in, if he does have to play more at center, we need everybody to make sure that they let every person know that we have a center for Auburn that is 17 and make a big deal about of it.
I mean, I do think that's more impressive than Ryan Williams running past some of these dudes, because he's okay. Remember, this is a 17-year-old going up against some guys that might be even 23 years old and also outweigh him maybe by 50 plus pounds.
And Ike knows this, because I know that he's researched it as well. Remember when we talked to Walter Pruitt of Sparkman last week about how much a center has to do? Think about him coming in the middle of a game. It wasn't like he was coming in against South Alabama or Ball State. Like, this is Oklahoma on the road, and now he's responsible with helping Jackson Arnold make coverage calls. Like, this is a massive.
And he did it great though. Like, this wasn't even like, it wasn't one of those like, oh, he's been pretty good for a like, no, like you did not notice Connor Lew wasn't in the game until you realize, oh, Connor Lew's back in the game.
Good stuff from Ike Jones. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were still going with that. My bad.
No, I was just saying. So, I mean, the future feels bright there for the center spot for Auburn if he's going to continue to progress.
No doubt about that. We got to put some punctuation next to that. A 17-year-old center making things work for the Auburn Tigers, and Ike Jones, as always, making things work for us. Ike, let the people know where they can find all of your work down in the Plains covering Auburn football. Indeed.
Make sure you hit up the website, thewarreport.com. I'm TWR Ike Jones on Twitter, and then you can hit us up on the YouTube to get all the coverage. We are the War Rapport there, War Rapport on all social media.
Ike, appreciate you as always, man. Go and watch some film. Get a lot of rest because the season continues and it doesn't stop at all. Until it's over.
Yeah, I am headed down to College Station this weekend again, so I'm back out there.
Hey, how much oil do you have in your car? Like, I mean, how many times have you had to change?
I'm renting cars.
Thank you. I was curious, man, because I'm about to say you threw some miles on that sucker.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm putting all those miles on my vehicle.
Ike, we might need to get you like a Capital One Express card or something so you can put those points towards flying.
I need to get some sponsorships from Travelocity. Somebody needs to holler at your boy.
Look, why? Like, I'm not wanting to throw shade at the War Report, but can you guys not start affording like an airline ticket, like a Southwest or something, just to get you there?
I mean, we can, but it's still more cost effective for me to drive.
So remember,
when you factor in, like when you fly into these cities, you still like the closest airport's still like an hour away.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
So
I know.
I still got to rent a car when I get there. I still got to get a hotel room, and it's just like,
Joe's telling you this as a guy that works with a radio station that still makes us drive all the way out to places. So I mean, we got the money, but they're still gonna make the grunts drive.
Look, we're close to doing hitchhiking for certain events. Okay, like I'm like I understand. I was just curious because I mean these aren't short. If you add the rental car price with the gas and everything else, like you're starting to get close to just it being even money with choosing the flight over the drive. That's the only reason I was saying it.
Oh.
No, I mean, listen, I've done the math on this stuff. I'm saving money. Trust me.
And he's knocking out some podcasts as well on the way down.
The books that you've been able to read over the last couple of days.
Ike, great stuff from you as always, bro. Go and get some rest, man.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Always great. Ike Jones from the War Report. He is busy, but he is getting out the content for you guys. Make sure you check it out. All of the Auburn fans got to be focusing on what he does, and he joins us almost every single week to talk a little bit more about those games.
I can't believe he is 17. Did you know he's only 17?
Ike Jones is not 17.
No, he's not, but Cale Ellis is 17.
That is very impressive.
We have got to make sure we say it 600 more times.
We do need to make sure we say it 600 more times. We also need to get him on the airways. I feel like it might be a little bit more doable for a 17-year-old center instead of a 17-year-old wide receiver that once he makes one great catch, everybody wants to put him on the pedestal and say he's the best in the world.
Has one great game, and then he doesn't have another one for 365 days.
No, I'm not saying that much. But
Spot the lie. Spot the lie.
There's no lie. But it's also not truthful either. He was decent. We'll take the break off of that. When we come back, Wolverine Dan's going to be joining us on the phone lines, and you guys can join him as well. 256-576-97.7 reaction coming up in the next segment to close out this show.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We are a championship school, and school is in session.
Makes a catch, makes them bang into each other, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, scores!
Join us Saturday as the Crimson Tide start SEC play against the Georgia Bulldogs. Our coverage begins at 3:30 on your home for Alabama football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
At Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, it's not just what we do, it's who we are. Founded in 2003 by Huntsville natives Scott Johnson and Todd Hayes, Johnson & Hayes brings exceptional care to every patient through an all-star team of highly trained physical therapists. From sports performance to post-op rehab, dizziness, women's health, and more. With 7 locations across North Alabama, expert care is always close to home. Learn more at johnsonandhayes.com. Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, where extraordinary care meets exceptional outcomes.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment, best segment, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, and The Blitz will be back with you tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. Okay, so, God, I hope this works. Did anybody else catch the jab on game day? Okay, like let me see if things.
I don't really watch game day. It's like unlike other people do. I don't watch too much game day.
Okay, because that's the reason I'm curious about if anybody else because I genuinely heard it and thought to myself, wait a second. That should be like, we should be like talking about this. Like this, I would think that more people would make a big deal about this than what they are.
Let's hear it, Joe.
He has done a fantastic job, and
so now this is
obviously is a big part of that.
At some point,
how about the nose though? You got to
listen to
go
this.
look at Florida State, what they've been able to do so far, especially after what happened a year ago, and now they have Gus Malzahn calling the plays.
Yep.
I think he's the X factor. He's the difference maker. You listen to players talk about him. They say he seems like he's just much more relaxed. He's much more comfortable. Like
it isn't about the Malzahn.
Off of his shoulders.
Wait till McAfee asks Nick Saban a question.
It's going to be a very, very dangerous team moving forward.
I had no idea this chant existed here, but certainly they are creative down here and have great rhythm, able to fit a lot of words into just one melody. That being said, I agree that Florida State could be all the way back.
Yeah,
I mean, they had that 1 year, obviously, where everybody, they're dead, and they missed the playoffs because they have so many injuries at the most important position. But why not Norvell getting it figured out today? 44.5-point favorite, Steve, against Kent State. I see it's on your board.
So here's where it's about to happen.
So many games today that are interesting. We're going to learn a lot about teams getting tested for the first time. I'm going the opposite direction. Coach, no offense to Kent State, they don't have the goods today. And when Gus Malzahn plays inferior competition, he pummels
Here we go.
teams. Florida State scored 77 last time out against East Tennessee State. We're going to lay the 44.5.
A good team.
Second best team in the state, right? Okay. Second best?
Well,
Here we go. Here's him talking about Gus. This is where he goes.
Championship.
When Gus has a running quarterback to go with the way he loves to run the ball and go fast, they are very difficult to play against. And if you can't stop the run, you're in trouble.
Did your alma mater reach out to help with a game plan?
Not at all.
No.
What? I couldn't help
Kent State didn't. I couldn't help it.
I can't coach bad players to play good.
Jeez.
Hey, what about a team that
Was he just talking about Alabama or Kent State?
I think he was talking about Kent State.
Like, I genuinely heard it, and hearing it say something, I was like, well, maybe, because he asked him, did your alma mater reach out? And he was talking about that. I can't teach bad players to play good. And I'm thinking, when I heard it the first time, I thought he was talking about Alabama.
I could see why, but Kent State, of course.
Because the other question, because my other thought was, well, when I heard alma mater, my head is like, oh, the team you just coached.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so I'm glad we listened to that back, because I went, wait a second. He did take a jab. It's at Kent State. But it wasn't a jab at Alabama like I thought it was initially when I heard it the first time.
That's like Zeus punching down on us, all right? There's no need to do it.
Yeah.
He just did it anyway. Wolverine Dan, I'm sorry. We could not get you in, bro. We needed to play that audio.
Yeah,
we just
glad we did
needed to play that audio.
We had to, because it had to clear something up, because in my head I thought that he did take the jab.
Either way, we are done for today.
Call back tomorrow. I promise you we'll get you on first thing.
The Whack Hitter Dog picks. We will update the standings tomorrow. A lot more NFL news for you guys as well. But Tom Abraham coming up at noon, and Tom's back in town, Joe.
Yeah, love you.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area.